podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I don't want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the base of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record for being with you.
My drop, I know my drop, I know my situation. I don't want to fight. But it's gonna be very difficult for both of us.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another breaking news edition. Bad news. Yes, I have to agree that this may be a bad news report. Canelo Alvarez tests positive for a banned substance. It's Clenbuterol, and some tainted meat going around. And he had that same steak or ate at the same restaurant as Eric Morales and a few other local Mexicans. I don't even know. Maybe Marquez might have popped with this before. We will see. I know Matt has a list of other fighters that have tested positive for Clenbuterol, but it is known as a diuretic. We'll give you all the details. This is what we're going to be discussing right here at the Voice of the People. So if you want to voice your opinion, you know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation, absolutely free. Once again, that's Nestor Gibbs on Skype. Let's head on out to the Golden State and get this thing started.
ThaBoxingvoice production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knock out now. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, the Hipsters here. Haters beware. Before I get into any of the statistics or facts on Clenbuterol and the associated bans that we've had in boxing and other combat sports, just want to say that as far as we know, the fight is still on, fans out there. WBC is doing an investigation, though they, according to their own statements, seem leaning towards agreeing with the tainted meat evidence or excuse or whatever term you may want to use. But right now, as of this moment, fight is still on. Fight is not off. Canelo is moving his camp to the U.S. to avoid any more tainted meat, allegedly. So we're definitely going to delve right into it with all of the statistics, all the facts, and definitely chop it up with this panel and you, the callers.
And in the Golden State.
I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and most vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one to stop me. Lynch is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. Get up!
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Okay, I think Ness meant to say the Garden State. But yeah, man, Canelo, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. I mean, this is one of the cleanest fighters in our sport. He's a big advocate of cleaning out the sport and maintaining a clean sport. So this is real surprising. And I don't know about this whole meat thing, man. I did my own little research, and it's like, what do you like? Just stop eating beef in Mexico? I mean, do you get your steaks imported from out of the country? I mean, I don't know what's going on. Matt did say there's an investigation still pending. Mauricio Suleiman went out and said that, don't get all crazy on it because the investigation's still under play. So I'm assuming that they're going to just try to see how much of the substance was found in his system. And I guess maybe from there, we can maybe get a finalization on it from the scientist or whoever the hell's in the lab.
And some quick facts before we get into this particular scenario with Canelo. Clenbuterol is a steroid-like substance, but not a steroid. It's
slight anabolic.
It's classified. It's not slight anabolic. Just the effects it gives are like a steroid sometimes. It's technically classified as a beta-2 agonist. It's still a banned substance. It has similarities with stimulant drugs as well. If you take it in a high dosage, It can give you the effects of diuretics. That's why it's often linked to diuretics in boxing, even though it's technically not a diuretic. The actual effects of it burns fat by increasing metabolism, builds muscle by enhancing muscle protein synthesis, and allows easier breathing.
That's the key right there, man. It helps a lot with the breathing, and it creates that thermogenic response in the body that allows these fighters to lose weight a lot faster.
And also, for some fans that may not know what's happening in Mexico, a independent group research, I forget the exact study it was. Definitely a credit. Victor Conti of the Snack System talked about it, so you can find it on his Twitter if you want to find the specifics of it. I think it was like 58 of 200 slaughterhouses in Mexico. Their beef was found to have clenbuterol in it. Slaughterhouses will give clenbuterol to the cows to beef up the meat, give more lean fat and lean meat, I should say, and lower fat ratio on the cows to increase their overall product, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're buying this then, Matt?
Look, here's the actual statistics on the suspensions that we've had thus far. I've looked at the UFC and boxing. I've looked at 10 fighters in the last 5 years or so. 6 out of the 10 received 0 suspension. 5 out of the 10 received 0 suspension. So half of the time, there's nothing being handed down to these guys, especially when they're coming from Mexico. But I'm just giving facts on what might happen. You fans out there, I'm just giving facts. I want you to make your own judgment.
Opinion. Yeah, make your own opinion. I mean, because look, Matt, besides the fighters,
I don't know, man.
Wait,
I guess we got me to act like I'm gonna burst the bubble or talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, when the promoter, when the first time we hear of something, it's from the promoter, something is wrong. Now I remember when Lamont Peterson tested positive for the Amir Khan fight. Back then, Richard Schaefer was part of Golden Boy, and he was very upset with VADA because they didn't come to him first, and he said, well, we have a fight card with tickets. Why would VADA not come to us and let us know? Why would they let the fighter know first? And it seems here like this was a collective decision, or they found out collectively, because the way we found out was via press release. There was no breaking news. No reporter had the one up and knew that Canelo was taking clenbuterol. No. Instead, they came together to give us kind of I don't know. This is like a preordained excuse. They sat in the room.
Polished.
What was the best
They've done
direction?
this before, though. They've done this before. And look, I know some people want me to keep the same energy when I had about Luis Ortiz, but look, we had that fight anyways. Regardless of what that situation was, the WBC gave him a slap on the wrist and allowed that fight to continue. So obviously, the PED regulations in this sport are faulty at best. So I'm not going to sit here and assume
They're
that
irregular.
That something's going to happen, that there's going to be a suspension.
I like that. Irregular.
Even though it is the right thing. That Canelo probably shouldn't be fighting in May. But they're not going to do that. It's a $100 million fight. Probably way more than that, let's be honest. It's not happening. There's a long track record and precedent for them to use, for them not to suspend Canelo, and for them to allow this fight to continue. Because numerous times in boxing, people have tested positive before the fight for clenbuterol, and the fight had happened. Francisco Vargas versus Orlando Salido. How many fans out there listening right now love that fight? I want you to call in and give that same energy to Canelo as you give in the YouTube chat then. Because he tested for clenbuterol weeks before his fight with Orlando Salido, and they allowed the fight to continue. There's numerous cases. Yes, there's some like Lucas Brown, who got a 6-month suspension and then had his WBA belt stripped. Yeah, that happens.
Well, even Luis Ortiz had a suspension from the WBA.
True. You mean for the first time or the second time?
The second time, because that's when he got out of the rankings for AJ. But our very own Rob, the associate producer, sends a super chat message. TBV always working, thumbs up, and share the show.
Of course. And I'm over it. I'm over fighting for PED regulations or consistent ones or anything like that, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen right now, at least.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that, man. This is a huge fight. I mean, and look, his track record, he's always been a clean fighter. So and you know, outside of boxing and fight sports, Matt and Ness, there's been other athletes that have been actually, you know, caught using quote unquote this substance, but you know, attesting it to the meat they ate. It, substance banned by the NFL, the International Olympic Committee, the USDA, the FDA, and you know, I lost my thought here. Sorry. Give me okay.
It's okay, Jimmy.
No,
It's
no,
okay.
I was looking at two windows right now.
It's the OG. It's okay, man.
Maybe it is the OG.
It happens, man. It happens.
No, but basically what I'm saying is that outside of the sport of boxing and UFC and fight sports, period, this substance has also been a part of other sports and affected other athletes outside the fight game. And it's nothing new, basically. And I don't understand what's a fighter in Mexico supposed to do? Like get their steaks imported from another country? What are you to do? This is nothing new. This is nothing new. And either it starts going on the list that you're not supposed to be eating these meats, or so that you don't have situations like this. Because when you have situations like this, you can always blame it on a steak. And you know, I don't think that, you know, according to whatever amounts are found in Canelo's system, I don't think that that's an excuse that should be viable any longer. It's been around for so long,
especially at Canelo's level. Because like there's some guys that don't have the financial support or you know resources to really, like you said, import steaks or move to California and train there or do whatever. Canelo's a multimillionaire at this point for sure. He can do whatever he wants. He could have moved his camp already and not have this concern.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but to move away from your home country, something that you're used to, a place you've been training all your life, to kind of guess whether or not the meat that you're...
I'm talking about going forward. Going forward, he should...
Oh, yeah, no. The Golden Boy press release says that he's already moved his camp to the U.S. so that, you know, so that this won't happen, and he's open to as many stringent tests as they want.
I mean, him moving over to his camp over to the United States, it's just a, you know, PR, just to give the you know, the people who are now, you know, looking at him through a different scope, you know, a chance for them to see them in the light that he's able to.
We also say that he's the one that insisted on VADA testing for the Triple G fight, and now he's the one that tested positive. So, you know, I think it may come from a honest standpoint.
How long has Canelo been eating Mexican beef?
All his life.
All his life. So why hasn't it come up in other tests in the past?
You heard, Matt. There's been a study of a couple of facilities that are contaminated. Maybe he got his meat from there.
No, but this problem has been around for.
Also, he has been tested a lot. He's been using VADA testing for a
long time.
For at least the last, I would say, a few years.
So he was eating imported beef in the other 12 times he was tested.
No.
Jimmy, I'll give you the statistic again. 58 out of 200.
52. I know.
So that's enough to where it's significant, where you can get tainted meat, not easily, but the odds are there. But you can still get tons of, you know, decent.
Oh, you know what bad luck he has before $100 million.
Let me give you something here, Doomie. Let me give you something here, and I quote: "I am an athlete who respects the sport, and this surprises me and bothers me because it had never happened to me. I will submit to all tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation, and I trust that at the end, the truth will prevail," added Canelo. Canelo has tested clean dozens of times over the course of his previous 12 fights. So his last 12 have been with VADA, bro. Remember, as long as he's been with WBC, he's been showing that he's clean. Now, maybe him and his team, I mean, I'm not even going to say that because that's all assumption, you know?
Yeah, I mean, look, this, if anything, it got caught now. If it was either intentional or unintentional, the thing is it got caught now. Now he's going to be under heavy scrutiny and testing. So at least right now we can guarantee that we'll have a Canelo Alvarez that's clean. Not that we don't believe that he has been cleaned all his life. It's just that this is kind of staining his whole status now, man. I'm starting to put pieces together from the past fights and all this stuff. So he's making me think.
If Canelo's tainted, then Tyson Fury is tainted. Then Luis Ortiz is tainted. Then Francisco Vargas is tainted. Eric Morales is tainted. A slew of guys then become tainted. I'm not saying that's wrong to think of, Doomy, but we either need to be consistent, not us, just at the boxing culture
in general
industry.
No, I said we're easily forgiving everybody.
No. It's not that we're easily forgiving. No, we pick and choose. Now, not only us on this panel, but the entire industry picks and choose who we forgive for PED use and who we don't.
Exactly. Who
we need to be pardoned or not give a fuck. We need to pick one.
Who we pardon and who we condemn. Listen, let me give you some more quotes here.
Daniel Eichner.
Daniel Eichner is the director of SMRTL. It's a acronym for something fancy.
It's called SMRTL, by the way. That's what it's kind of just called.
SMRTL.
Okay, but what does the acronym stand for?
Yeah, what the acronym actually stands for, but that's what's kind of called at a commission.
Oh, but you know what it's called, but you don't know what it stands for.
Yeah, because people call NASA all the time. Do you know what NASA stands for, Ness?
NASA stands for.
Come on. National Aviation.
He's down. Ref is calling it off.
Wait, I've seen this on movies. It's
no, you don't. Get back. Let's go. Get back.
National Association States and Aerodynamics.
No, don't have Lucy, who's in the education department. Get the fuck out of here.
Let me read my quote from
Daniel.
Let me read my quote from Daniel. The WADA accredited lab that conducted the test, WADA, not VADA, okay? But remember, even VADA uses WADA labs, I think, allegedly. I could be wrong on that.
So does USADA. USADA and VADA use WADA labs.
Well, there you go. Conducted the test, stated in this letter today, and I quote, these values are within the range of what is expected from meat contamination. So again, this is why I say that this is a big conspiracy, right? Like they knew he tested positive and they waited to the absolute correct time, how they could manage the PR, see how everyone's coming out with like a preordained excuse. Now they have their own doctor here or someone from, like you said, SMRTL saying no. Usually when someone tests in this range, it's for meat contamination, like, to coincide with their alibi, basically. And that's only if you believe in conspiracy theories. I mean, if you...
The only reason I'm kind of not confused about the conspiracy, that's the wrong word, but like I'm skeptical about it, is that they released this news on a Monday. If you try to bury news, you release it on a Friday or a Saturday or a Sunday.
Well, you're not gonna bury it when you put together the announcement date. It's a statement from Golden Boy that's gone viral. And let's be honest, when Canelo weighed in the last time, people were saying it. It's like, whoa, this kid looks fucking jacked up. All last fight. I'm just keeping a G. I don't forget.
Shout out to Andre on the super chat. Andre Diakanu. He says, when you're wealthy and a star, you get a pass. A B-level fighter would get fined and stripped.
That's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true.
Maybe there's a little bias, right?
No, that's not necessarily true. Luis Neri, Francisco Vargas, are those really like rich guys, A-level guys? No. And they got no ban. There's tons of guys that got
some guys.
Wait a minute. I thought I seen my good friend Mauricio Suleiman say that Luis Neri is suspended indefinitely from the WWE.
Again, that is for the second fight. The first fight, which he tested positive for Clenbuterol, he received no suspension for that.
Well, I mean, look, Canelo's out there doing
fight was not overturned. And the fight was not overturned. It's still a win in the ledger books.
Canelo's out there doing commercials, grabbing meat, so he probably got it through finger injection.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Seeped in through his pores, man.
Last time I checked, human beings needed either ingestion or...
I mean, he was doing a photo shoot with the slab of beef a la Rocky, man. I mean, it could have been that, right? Like,
they probably gave him like a nice
around the tainted beef.
Look, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. Like, I'm 99% sure that's not how it works.
So tainted beef isn't contaminated? I mean, isn't contagious, like via touching?
No, I'm pretty sure you have to eat it. You have to actually like ingest it. That's to enter your body.
That is true, Rob. Well, Rob, the AP says the Neri is suspended for missing weight, not testing positive.
Thank you, Rob, for backing me. Yes, Ness.
Call you the
Backing you. I
back.
thought you said that was the second time. You ain't even mentioned about the weight.
Hey, listen. Can you believe? I mean, has anybody else ever came out and said, "Hey, it's because I had Mexican steak"? All these fighters that you've looked up, Matt,
but they're all been Mexican though. Morales, all of them.
There's been 2 hotbeds of clenbuterol in slaughterhouses. One in China.
No, I'm talking about the fighters that.
I'm answering you. Let me.
Okay.
One in China, one in Mexico. There's been numerous cases and studies in both those countries.
Oh, that's interesting.
Fighters from both countries have been testing positive a lot lately. And on my list, I have multiple Chinese fighters and also a lot of Mexicans. Most of them, if not all of them, have claimed tainted meat. Some of them have gone suspended. Some of them have. Ones have gone suspended 2 years, 6 months to 4 years. It all really depends on the particulars.
We're about to become all bro scientists right now. Okay. In the chat,
bro scientist.
In the chat, one of our listeners, Rick's Giggles, said,
Wait, already believe he's a doctor.
Why'd you delete it? Oh no, you didn't delete it. It says I have to choose whether or not to show it. I guess because he used graphic words being cocaine. He says cocaine. I guess he wanted to put cocaine clenbuterol can be used to cut cocaine, and he says I cut cocaine with clenbuterol.
Actually, that is true.
Well, there you go. So for all you know, Canelo was out partying.
Holy fucking moly! It's easier to blame it on tainted meat.
It's easier to believe he was doing blow with Oscar than fucking, handling tainted meat in Mexico. Like, this motherfucker's rich. He's got a chef. He's got someone to go to the grocery store. I really doubt he's fucking around with tainted meat.
Yeah, you can actually cut in with numerous steroids, I believe.
You know what? I would rather have believed that than this fucking meat bullshit. Like, this is just not acceptable for a guy of his caliber. He's got
the announcement. It's official. Broner Vargas, Charlo Centennial, April 12th, Barclays Center.
Oh.
And Gervonta Davis versus Quellar.
Wait, Gervonta Davis versus who?
Quellar, Jesus.
Ooh.
Cuellar.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, Abnamar.
A couple divisions, but I like it.
I mean, Abnamar beat him already.
Yeah, but it's still entertaining.
I mean, he's a small guy moving up.
Okay. So,
just saying.
We liked Rigo and Loma. Come on.
Whenever you say you like something.
I like Loma Rigo. That small guy being brought up.
Rigo was actually a super talent.
Super talent that lost every round and every second of that fight. Digressing to Canelo.
Canelo, man.
What about Canelo?
He's my boy, man. I feel fucking bad for him.
No. To Doomy's point, like, there's been high-level guys that have tested positive. We've mentioned them. Tyson Fury, Huey Fury, Eric Morales.
Yeah, but Tyson was on coke, man. And look, hey, Tyson.
There we go. There's the coke. There it is.
Tyson says that but he actually he actually popped 4 coke, so it didn't come up as clenbuterol. It came up as coke.
He popped for cocaine, clenbuterol, and nandrolone, which is actual steroid.
Hey, these guys just, they gotta take care of their PR team's good. I'm pretty sure they huddle up and talk about their inner circle situations before it goes out to the world. And Mexican meat is a lot easier on the character than sniffing cocaine.
Nah, we don't give a fuck about that.
That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that they gotta protect themselves. At the end of the day, the scientists are the ones that are gonna be.
Canelito was out partying, man. He did a line off of some tits somewhere.
Good for him. Salute.
Did the AP hit the lotto or something? He fucking making it rain in the super chats on my Canelo Doomy's boy, but wears that GGG hat every day. True.
Yo, we're all picking Canelo.
Tiger got to my Triple G hat, man.
Oh, hold on. It's
just made me sad.
No, listen, let's open it up to the phone lines. Look, this was just a quick report. The fight's not off, which means that our appreciation night is still on, which means that we're still doing a live fight party for this clenbuterol testing positive Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady.
Before we go to the callers, do you want to read the statement from Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC? Because it was in Spanish. It's in the pre-production group chat.
You want me to read it? I'll read it.
Oh, you want me to read it in Spanish?
Well, yeah, read it in Spanish first, our Spanish listeners, and then come back in English. Come on.
Is it in Spanish in the actual?
The actual tweet is in Spanish to confuse the English audience, of course.
Okay, so it says el WBC Boxing será consciente natural protocolo en caso de investigando todos los detalles. Clenbuterol es un problema.
Bueno, el WBC Boxing será consistente en seguir el protocolo en el caso de Canelo, investigando todos los detalles. Clenbuterol es un problema. Periodo.
All right, let me try the second one. Un problema de salud pública en México y se debe analizar al fondo antes de llegar a conclusiones. A Canelo ha salido negativo siempre. You see what I'm saying? He always taking care of isn't he his godson or some shit like that?
Even though they kind of were, not feeling each other for that.
No. That was only for last year, but he's like Canelo's godfather or some shit.
Yeah, that was just
exactly.
Or he might be Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s godfather. I don't know.
I think that's what is true.
I mean, for the most part, we know that Canelo's always been clean anyway, man. And for those that, aspire to think that he's been dirty all this time, like, come on, he's never.
Or if you think he's dirty, fine, think that. Most of these guys are probably dirty. I just don't.
Matt, you sound like Nate Diaz.
Yo, they're all on steroids.
You sound like Nate Diaz, bro.
Come on. It's professional sports. I mean, most of these athletes admit it themselves that a majority of athletes are on steroids.
I don't know. This is a million.
Not on steroids.
Who? I know I'm not on steroids. Oh shit!
Even though Victor Conte tries throwing him some shade and saying that he is on steroids.
Yeah, but he's on Victor Conte's VADA program for so long.
Oh my god! They talking about Canelo.
Let's go with the sponsors.
Yes, those sponsors. We're going to them at this moment. Yo, does that soundbite come off clear? Like, do you know that's Darth Vader or no?
Yes. Though I'll be honest, sometimes
it's
kind of weird because I've been watching a lot of Toy Story lately with my kid. It sounds like Zurg from Toy Story 2. For all you dads out there, you know what I'm talking about.
We don't.
If you have little kids, you definitely watch Toy Story. Come on, don't hate.
All these new dads take their kids to see Black Panther.
My kid's too young to see Black Panther. He's like 3. I'll let him watch like the Lego Avengers. Come on.
What's wrong with watching Black Panther at 3?
It's a lot of violence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like letting my kid watch a lot of violence.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't even cuss in front of my kid.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is so nice. So he doesn't own a radio?
Yeah, so he doesn't. I hope he doesn't grow up to be a fuckboy like me. That's what I hope.
He doesn't own a radio.
Damn, man.
He's 3 years old. No,
there's songs on the radio that have worse vocabularies than yours.
That is absolutely true. But I don't play hip hop around him too. Totally off overtime topic.
You don't even have to play hip hop anymore.
Yeah, but you keep it like on like the rock station. You can usually be, safe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, or like the pop station. Pop station you usually.
I wonder if this is going to affect.
Brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Gonna go out to Northern California to our very own IG master.
I won't deny you.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Come with me. Hail Mary, run quick, see what we have here now.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Dollar DiBiase Productions.
Fellas. All right, what's going on, fellas? Hey, man, had to call in. driving, but I had to call in, man. This is nothing, man. Golden Boy's doing it right. He came up. Hey, it's that meat. I'm telling you, mate. Hey, Ness, you've been on this side of the world. You know how hard it is to stay away from those taco trucks? It's those taco trucks, man. Tacos and shit. Everybody likes carne asada, man. I think this is nothing. I think, like I said, I think Golden Boy's doing it right, man. They sent the release to telling everybody they're being upfront about it. It's honesty, man. So nothing, man. May 5th. It's home.
Alex, thanks for calling in, brother. Look who's back. It's been a while. People were asking about you the other day. Let me see, actually, do I have that? Do I have that? Do I have that?
Don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
Yo, Fight Doctor in the house on Rick James status as always. Good evening, gentlemen.
What up, Fight Doc?
Fight Doc.
Listen, let me tell you what's going on. This is obviously some bullshit, okay? Fighter's been using this whole tainted meat excuse for how long now? I mean, when was that Eric Morales Maidana rematch? Isn't that the fight where Morales got popped for the same substance?
I don't remember.
It was Morales versus Danny rematch in Brooklyn Barclays Center.
Right. How long ago was that fight? That fight was at 140 pounds. And it's been some years since Garcia has fought at 140 pounds. So, yeah, the Mexican fighters have been using this excuse for a minute now. Okay, so listen, this shit is getting kind of old, man. Now, look, I can understand if it was some guy who, you know, up and coming and couldn't afford to train in the United States, you know, couldn't afford to hire his own personal chef. Yeah, then that would be a valid excuse. But your name is Canelo Alvarez. You make millions of dollars a fight. You make millions of dollars per fight, okay? You can afford to train in Big Bear. You can afford to have your own personal chef. All right, you're supposed to have a team in place to weed these things out. All right, before whatever reaches your dinner table, it's supposed to have been vetted and made sure that there's not contaminated. Whatever needs to happen, you have the resources, Golden Boy. You have the resources to make sure that your fighter tests clean. So I'm not buying this bullshit. Okay, I'm not. Listen, people, wake up. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. All right? This is some bullshit. Unadulterated variety bullshit.
Fight Doctor.
People.
Fight Doctor.
What's up?
Do you think they're going to actually do anything, though, to Canelo? Like, would there be any suspension?
Well,
because I agree with you.
Apparently, yeah, well, apparently VADA is on board, okay, because they came out with the excuse before Golden Boy even had an opportunity to come out with an excuse. This is consistent with tainted meat in Mexico. Okay. Well, the question needs to be asked, if that's the case and you knew this beforehand, you know, why are you eating Mexican meat? Okay? This is bullshit, people. This is bullshit, man.
Well, I mean, he lives in Mexico, man. He lives in Mexico.
Ness.
What? You can't say why is he eating Mexican meat? What, you want him to get this shit imported? Jesus. But I hear you, man. Look, I'm not defending him. I'm just simply stating facts. Oh shit. Jose dropped off.
Wow. That's because you skipped him. Jose, if you want, call back in. I've been telling us on the back end to go to you.
This guy.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean. My man, get a cup and put some change inside your hand. Now hold up. Let's make this official. Everybody, let's agree with it.
All right.
So I tested positive for Clenbuterol myself, man.
How did that happen?
Yo.
You had some beef in Mexico.
I took some shit
on vacation.
Yeah, yo. I'm trying to tell you, that shit is real, B. Now, listen, what Fight Doctor was saying, like, if he in Mexico, listen, I lost my voice because of the Wilder fight, so I'm sorry, guys. My shit is all fucked up. But, yo, you could get some beef from California, fucking Texas. You mean to tell me he couldn't get no fucking beef from Texas? If I was in,
he lives in Mexico. He lives in Mexico. You want him to Stop it! First of all, no. First of all, there's customs in place for you traveling internationally with livestock. If you didn't know, you guys are crazy. It's especially in place for this because animals carry fucking diseases. You cannot tell me he could be importing meat from Texas or San Diego like it's nothing. Get out of here! You guys are bugging.
Can move to Texas.
My man,
he's got a daughter.
Nothing for a millionaire.
Wait a minute.
He's nothing for a millionaire, bro. You're talking about regular Joes, bro.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because Matt, you don't want to move to the East Coast because you have a son. He's got a fucking daughter lives in Mexico. What do you want?
Look. I have a co-parenting situation,
and so does he.
Yo, he does? I didn't know that.
He's not with the mother of his child. He's never been with her.
I didn't know that. Then okay, I understand that.
Jabs.
That makes it different. I did not know that. See, there are things I just do not know sometimes.
What you mean?
Hey, bro, I could order steaks from all over the country.
You can't smuggle no ribs from Texas, though?
No, he could.
He can.
You could definitely do that. I agree with that, though. He could definitely. He's a millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. He could buy whatever you want.
You see my man's horses, man?
What's the name of that spot you buy the beef from on online that came in the boxes for your mom?
Omaha Steaks.
Omaha Steaks. Let's see if Canelo could get some Omaha Steaks.
He needs to subscribe.
Yo, somebody sent him the Omaha Steaks link.
Bro. You telling me he don't got enough money to raise his own cattle, eat his own fucking beef?
He does.
Get out of here, man. I want to hear it.
Yo, look at Doomsday. Now you want this dude to fucking get a farm and raise calves.
Man, he got horses. This is what he does. He likes that, man.
Yo,
I want to hear it, man. I want to hear it.
My man, just because he got horses don't mean he's going to walk around with stinking ass cows all day.
Come on, bro. But he can go do a commercial holding cow meat, right? Get out of here.
Yo, you judge, jury, and executioner.
Definitely not. I'm just pointing it out.
Oh, hold on. I mean, what's up?
What's up?
And
listen, he needs to just pull a Ponderosa. You know what I mean? That's my call. I ain't gonna hold y'all up though, man. I fuck with Canelo. I don't give a fuck what he did, man. You know, I don't think he did it personally because, like I said, he tested clean so many times, and maybe this is the one time he got popped. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? That's
absolutely,
what I'm saying, man.
Canelo,
yo, all day.
Yo, you know how Canelo won't test positive next time?
He'll get better steroids.
No, he'll just order multiple dozens of pateles from Ruthie Pateles by calling 917-568-1195 or all the way from Mexico. He could actually do orders at ruthiespateles.com and have that shit delivered to a tri-state area house because we don't deliver to Mexico. We being Ruthie's Original Pateles. Follow Ruthie's on Instagram at Ruthie's_Pateles. Yo, let's get to Hurricane Ray in Miami.
Time out. Before we go to Hurricane Ray.
Why are you always doing timeouts, yo?
Because you don't let me talk. Relax.
Why you can't do no sign language?
One thing. Sign language. You're not even looking, homie. Relax.
What? I'm always looking.
One thing before we go to Hurricane Ray. When Amin said he's tested positive once, like we should give him the benefit of the doubt. Lance Armstrong only tested positive once. And he was able to cheat and skirt hundreds and hundreds of PED tests. Just saying.
Yo, he made killer endorsement money too.
And lost it all.
Yeah, but after he spent a bunch of that shit, come on.
Oh, of course. He spent it all. Come on.
Armstrong, yo, he got busy. We got some Skypers here. We're going to go Jake and State Farm. Talk to us, Jake. Jake.
You all right, boys? How you doing?
What up?
Yeah, really, if Canelo can get CJ Ross to give him a draw against Mayweather, then he can get some clean meat, really.
Yeah, I mean, but that was a collective thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, you know, he can get some clean steak if, you know, he's got plenty of money. My personal view is, I think, you know, Canelo's probably the biggest name in boxing at the minute, and it's a good chance to flush out all performance, all these PEDs by making a statement and giving him a ban. You know, you just think about it, if this was Triple G, this fight would be off 100%. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I wouldn't think I would think that you know, because of the high risk, they would definitely take the high road and like, oh no, man, he tested positive until we don't know the results, yada yada yada.
Yeah, this Clenbuterol drug, what does it actually enhance? Does anyone know?
I mean, it causes you to your metabolic rate to rise. You're able to burn fat a lot faster. That means you're able to drop weight a lot faster.
This is your protein synthesis, which increases muscle density and also allows easier breathing.
You know, oxygen is the name of the game in these sports, man. And when you can breathe better and you're getting a higher oxygen level to your muscles, I mean, and in this sport, that's like, you know,
it's a bit of a coincidence that you know, the Triple G last fight, you know, skill wise, Canelo was, you know, hands down better than him, but you know, he took a lot of rounds off, so it's a bit of a coincidence that, you know, the stamina wise, this drug actually enhances.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It wouldn't be consistent with the drug, because had he actually been using, I guess, high traces of this, then he wouldn't be taking those rounds off the way that he did.
Yeah, I don't think he was probably using it last fight, but
well, that's what. No. If you didn't
in January,
no. Well, if you didn't know, that's what they're saying, right? That this is an old test, right, Matt?
Oh, is it? Oh, really?
Yeah,
February 17th, and then the results came back the 20th, and one of the tests were
old being like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought this was a test from the first fight.
February 17th for this fight coming.
No,
that would make a lot of sense. A bit of a coincidence, like, you know, the fight's in May. You know, these drugs, you know, it's not going to be in his system by, you know, April time.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Jake. Look, on the press release, they have no date. Where are you getting your date from? It says here, it says, as part of the voluntary testing program that Canelo Alvarez insisted on ahead of his May 5th fight, one of his results came back positive for trace levels of Clenbuterol, consistent with meat contamination that has impacted dozens of athletes in Mexico over the last years. So
it's been around for a while.
There's no date on the release. Where are you getting this February 17th date?
Let me see if I can pull up the source.
In the meantime, we'll go to the callers. We got
Ray, who you skipped on accident, even though we said we were going to him. Hurricane Ray from Miami.
Yo, what's good? What's good? It's Hurricane Ray. Yo, man, check this out. What's up, fam?
What's going on, brother?
Say it's not the juice, it's tecate. All right, that's a slogan for Canelo. It's not the juice, it's tecate. Anyways, man, first of all, the diet is imperative to a boxer. Man, this guy ain't shopping at no Sedano's, no Safeway. He's getting the finest cuts of meats. He's getting the best food available to him because it's imperative to his diet. We know how important it is to take your diet seriously when you're a fighter, and how the regimen and, you know, the fuel it takes in order to fuel your body to get ready. So there's no excuses, man. And you know what else most fishy? The fact that they said it's consistent with the contamination, the Clenbuterol. So they had an answer for you before you even speculate. They provided the answer for you, man. That's my call. That's it. Anyways, I'm going to enjoy the fight May 5th. Let's get it on.
All right.
Hurricane Ray. That was my point. That this news didn't break until they wanted it to break. It's crazy. Normally, reporters, journalists, a writer, at least hints at speculation of this. Then the promoter comes out and says, "No, that's not true." Then a week later, the promoter acts all shocked and, "Yes, he did test positive." Oh my! No, they came out like Hurricane Ray said, like, here's what happened and here's the answer, and here's some speculation too. Here's what normally happens.
Sources from ESPN, got Dan Rayfield, says,
talking to the mic, sir. Fat face,
round face. It says, let me just read from.
It says
Alvarez, who is relax, man. Relax, man.
Because you're taking.
Yeah, I know. When you got freaking Ness making fun of me, Alvarez, who is training in his hometown. And then I get hit with that. God.
Damn it, Dad. Jesus, Matt's an overdoer.
Jesus. Alvarez, who is training in his hometown of Guadalajara, Mexico, provided urine samples on February 17th.
Yeah. I thought you was Hispanic. Alvarez, who was training in Guadalajara.
Hey, TBV fam, you see what I'm getting here? I'm getting the.
Yo, say Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico.
Aquí está tu gallo. Relax, man. Alvarez, who is training in his hometown of Guadalajara, Mexico, provided urine samples on February 17th and February 20th, and both tests came back positive for trace amounts of Clenbuterol, according to the letter. VADA President Margaret Goodman.
Into the mic.
According to the letter that VADA President Margaret Goodman sent to those involved on Monday and obtained by ESPN.
All right. We heard the last of that. Cincinnati, 513-970.
Sorry.
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
What's going on, brother? Who's this?
Man.
It's
CK again. Y'all been lighting it up, man. We came through with that Deontay Wilder. Now our band popped up positive, man. Like I told you, my last time I talked to you, man, you got integrity. So ain't no excuses for failing no drug tests. Golden Boy cannot afford their golden goose to lose, so of course he's juicing. Everybody knew this, and that's why they was putting the fight off for years. You're serious? You're serious? I don't want to. Hey, I don't want to hear no excuses about failing no drug tests, because if my guy fails, we gotta eat that. Deontay ain't failed no drug test, so boom, let's do it. Give him his proper respect. We gotta fight because, like you said, it's too much money on the line. But don't make no excuses for people that's popping dirty, because the people that's not popping dirty deserve their respect. So we gotta stop doing this. We gotta hold integrity. If you're gonna take a drug test, pass it. If you ain't study, it's your fault. Stop making excuses for these stars. Hey, he's dirty. Now everything gets in question. But this is Triple G that brought it on. That's Triple G, not no other fighters. Nobody else was a threat like Triple G. This is a rematch that he cannot afford to lose.
I hear you, brother. Well, CK, thanks for calling in. He's got a point, man. He's like, look, it's a rematch. They don't want to lose. I guess if this were again a court of law or at least a crime, the police officer would be establishing motive right there, right? It's like, yo, Ness, he don't want to lose, you know?
And unfortunately, not to give it, quote unquote excuses, but there is a track record of these guys actually giving evidence to support this. And let's say, like Doomy said, I think in the beginning of the show,
give me evidence. What are you talking about?
If you can say, I got this meat from this slaughterhouse, VADA will go and test the meat from that slaughterhouse independently and verify whether that meat is tainted or not.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So,
I mean, it's Mexico. You all you got to do is get your boys to find out where the meat is tainted and tell VADA that's where you got it.
Maybe. Yeah. But again, to this point, there are doctors that are a part of VADA that gave this resolution that really have. They're not the ones determining whether the suspension happens. That's the WBC. So if VADA, who's not handing down the suspension, is saying, look, this is in line with what we have proven to be contaminated meat levels, then and how much do we question that? Now, if you want to question the decision by the WBC, that's a different thing. I think that's a separate debate.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna come down. Oh, sorry. It's gonna come down to the science and the scientists that are gonna give these results based on whatever information they need to get. Yeah, it's gonna be up to, we're talking about integrity. It's gonna be up to down to the people who are actually doing the investigation. I think that we're living in a time where sciences that we hold, you can find out almost anything in any way that he might have ingested or ate cow meat or whatever it may be. They should be able to find it out through the sciences.
Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It helps with the visibility of the show. Lets me and the other co-hosts here, Matt and Alex, know that you are enjoying the spontaneous shows, enjoying these breaking news topics, especially this Canelo positive for a banned substance. We're going to head on out to Ohio.
Like I know, you should lie low. Killer, I used to get it in Ohio.
Man, oh man, oh man. Don't we got a good one today? It's nothing new to me though, fellas. Definitely nothing new to me, fellas. I just think that people have been real naive, man. I mean, to our greats like Pacquiao, Mayweather, to the the lesser known names, I think they all touched it. I think they all played with it a little bit.
Is that it? Or do you drop off?
Yeah.
Film brought up Mayweather's low test.
Hey, Jay Will, you went through a dead spot or something. We lost you for a sec.
Yo. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, Mayweather came up with test.
Oh no, we don't.
And test, which is a key.
Jay Will, try calling in, bro, or hanging that one up, and you come back. You sound really bad. We're gonna go out to a super chat. Coach Mitty says, "Shout out to CK. Let's be consistent with all fighters in the way we, the TBV fam, treat them. Let WBC make excuses, but let's be better than them." I almost feel like that needs an applause. I feel like we should be cheering right now.
We should.
It was like a message from the people to the people.
Yeah, I know it's wrong. I need a applause.
Why does it end so abruptly?
It doesn't. I stop it because it's a long soundbite.
Well, maybe you should stop using that garbage.
Whoa.
Just
Come
saying.
on. Come on.
Stay in your lane.
Well, with that being said, my final thoughts are I'm gonna let the professional.
We have one more call on the line.
Oh shit, Fife and Franco. I just was saying on one of our other spontaneous shows how you're on the list for your package to be delivered this coming few days here. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm looking forward to the shirt, man. So I appreciate you, brother. Nah, I didn't get to listen to the whole show, man. I'm just coming out of a meeting, but I'm just mad at Canelo because we've known about this issue with the Mexican meat for over like 4 or 5 years now. So whether or not you believe he actually juicing or not, it's stupid for him to have subjected himself to that. Like, why are you not training in the U.S.? You know what I'm saying? It's like, we already know this is an issue. You training in Mexico? Because anybody who believes he's juicing is going to say, oh, he's just using that as an excuse. Or if he's clean, it was just a stupid move, man. So I just think it's kind of a dumb cloud that we now have over the fight, that he could have just avoided if he was just training. Because I think what I read was he is now immediately moving his camp to the U.S.
Correct.
So it's like,
it's kind of like a little too late
from the get-go. Yeah, it just don't make sense. Now you're gonna move to the U.S. and subject. Yeah, you can test me as much as you want. I mean, come on, Canelo, you gotta be smarter than that. But we'll see what happens. We'll let the story play out.
All right, brother. On the check-in, Juan Marshall from Boxing in the Beltway, one of our, what do you call them?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not really a coworker. You know Juan Marshall from when we go down to Headbangers Doomy?
Yeah.
I don't call it a coworker.
An associate,
Colleague.
colleague.
That's the word.
I know.
Colleague. A fellow journalist. He says, call-in line is full. My take on the positive test. Just do what they did with Mosley versus Pac. Random testing throughout the training camp for May 5th.
Well, that was already in play to begin with. Now there's just going to be extra testing.
Yeah, but that, you see, that's the thing. Like he said, just do. The words just do. It's like we've been here so many times that we're like, we just want to get past it. So just do this. Just slap him on the wrist. Just forget about it. But we want this fight. That's just the way it is. Last call of the night, 904-443-904-312. 904-312.
Hey, what's up? This is Raphael from Jacksonville.
Raphael, what's going on, brother? Talk to us.
90 seconds.
And I knew it. I've always known it. I knew he was always juicing. There's no Mexican in that bus. I don't even think he's actually Mexican. His name is Steve Brennan. He's an actor from Boston. Fuck the rematch with the Triple G. There was a rematch with Jacobs. And fuck it. We all knew he won the first time. Got the Triple G won the first time, so fuck it.
Well, all right, my good friend. Thank you for calling in. And final thoughts.
60 seconds.
I'm going to side with the rest. I believe that unless the child's mother is unwilling to allow the rich father of her daughter to relocate her to the U.S. so that he could continue to, have his very well-paying job for them to continue to live the lavish lifestyle, then bring her and have your daughter here in the U.S. And yes, strongly think of maybe relocating so that the stigma of banned substances and positive drug tests do not
10
circle
seconds.
your name. I do want to make note of a couple of fighters that came right out. Liam Smith, who had a fight with Canelo, quickly jumped on and had some fun. He was like, oh, that's why I lost. And then obviously Billy Joe Saunders took some really sharp shots, right, Matt? What were his words?
Real funny guy, this guy.
I forgot what Billy Joe Saunders said, but on Liam Smith, you sound so bitter, man. You lost that fight. It didn't matter. You could have taken as much steroids as you want, Liam. You would have lost that fight 10 out of 10 times.
Okay. Well, Billy Joe Saunders says, at Canelo, you cheating, red-headed wanker. At GGG, let's go camp. Let's go chant. So yeah, people are already being judge, juror, and prosecutioner. Here we have Liam Smith saying Canelo failed the drug test, eh? Fucking knew there was a reason I lost to him. But he also put the emoji of the crying, laugh out loud face. Shout out to Ronald Finkel in the super chat. Appreciation, my friend, appreciation. But those are my final thoughts, guys.
My final thoughts. This fight's going to happen. I know there's going to be a WBC investigation. Allegedly, I highly question the merits of that investigation. So it is what it is. I mean, again, I can sit here and yell about how they're cheating. They're all cheating. Blah blah blah. But there's no real PED regulation in this sport that's extensive. So if I may sit here and crucify one guy while the rest of the sport still glorifies another that did the same exact thing, it's hard. It's really hard for me in that position to make a consistent call on the play, so to speak. I am Matt the Hipster. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt TBV on Instagram, my MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radios on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. Plus, patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice if you want to support all of this content, all the content that you love, that you come and hit that like button for, you hit the share button for. Definitely go and support. You get hours and hours of extra content, standing 8 count, untitled, overtime, etc. Tons of stuff. Peace.
Yeah, what can I say? Final thoughts on Canelo, man. I might have seemed a little rough on him right now this episode, but you know, he himself has always shot it out for a clean sport, and you know, to people to be held accountable under the same ruler, whether they're stars or not. It's our responsibility as the fans to hold them up to the standards that need to be held in order to have a safe sport. And again, let's not drag Canelo Alvarez's name through the mud. He's been a clean fighter all his life. This is the first time an incident like this happens. And what we got to be confident is in the sciences that we hold in this time and this era. And hopefully he comes out clean through this. And the fight still happens, which I agree with Matt. It's going to happen. This is millions and millions and millions of dollars on this fight. It's going to happen. Does this stain Canelo's name? We'll wait for the results. This is Alex Doomsday Lainez, and you can catch me on Instagram, Alex_Doomsday_Lainez, Lainez. On Facebook, Alexander Lainez, and on Twitter, Alex Lainez TBV. And yeah, peace.